welcome back. We're going to kick it out in style like we always do with some big prizes.
Okay, so tonight we're playing Finish the Lyrics. So we're going to have two people up here, and we're going to play a little song, like a lyrics, and you're going to have to finish the lyrics. But it's going to be one person has their turn. But if they get it wrong, the other person can steal their turn. And if they get the lyrics right, they don't lose their other turns, but they get the point, the extra point. So you're each going to have 2 turns. So yeah, we need 2 volunteers. All right, let's stand.
That was easy. All right, what's your name?
Sam.
And Sam, what type of music do you like?
Rock.
Rock. I like that. I like that.
And what's your name?
Josie.
Josie, what kind of music do you like?
Everything.
Everything, yeah, me too. A little bit of everything.
All right, so tonight for your prizes, you either get what's in this box or you get what's in this envelope. You get to choose. The loser will get the second prize that the winner does not take. So keep that in mind for tonight.
Yeah, so both of you get a prize.
All right. Before we get this first song up for you guys to guess, we want to say hello to everyone watching on the stream. Drop your favorite songs in the comments below. We'd love to read through and look at those. All right. We want to get the first song.
Wait. Who's first? Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Josie is up first.
All right, first song.
All right.
I don't know this one.
You don't know this one?
Nolan?
Do you not?
No.
Don't know.
She
All
does
right.
not know it. Sam, do you want to steal it? You don't know it either?
All right,
Neither
next song.
know it.
No points.
Next song, Nolan.
Wherever You Would Call Me, Oceans by Hillsong, United, classic. Not played as much anymore because the whole Christian universe overplayed the crap out of this song for the past decade.
Way too much. Way over.
So it's kind of died out a little.
Great song, but just over.
A little overplayed.
All right,
Next song.
let's get to the second song.
You're going to start this one. Finish the line.
All right, chance to steal.
And the seal goes, ow, ow, ow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
gosh.
All right, so Josie has a point.
Josie with one.
That is amazing.
Let's the next song.
That's a good steal because now it's back to your turn for
That
this
was
next
good,
song.
yep.
So let's get this third song up.
Beautiful song.
It's been a little bit.
It's been a while, indeed.
Head spinning, nose bleeding. I think that's it.
Yeah, it's close enough. That's enough of it. Head spinning, no
Josie has 2
kidding.
points now.
All right. So really, it is 2-0, so you can take it with this last one. But I want to do this
Might as well
last song
play anyways.
anyways.
Yes, get
I want to do this last song
Might as
anyways.
well get the last point.
And just let it go.
The wind is going.
Josie, do you know it?
I literally just listened to this like a week ago with a toddler, but I can never understand the lyrics.
Don't know the lyrics? What are they?
I know this.
I'm never going back. The past is in the past.
I mean, after a little bit. There's stuff before that. Do we want to get the lyrics up? And one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. Then we're going to the past. All right,
Okay,
so
Josie.
you won.
Do you get to choose either the box or the envelope? You'll do the box? All right. You get a 24
pack of Pepsi.
Woo! Sam, you
Get the envelope.
All right, what do we got?
what's in the envelope?
All right. Dun 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 dun.
Can you see
You've
it?
been punked. It's empty.
Whoa, what is that?
$10 Starbucks.
$10 gift card to Starbucks.
Wow.
Give it up for these two, and this has been your favorite and mine. Big prizes.
What is up, guys? My name is Nate,
And I'm Mackenzie.
and this is
Announcements.
Updates.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same
It
thing.
is the same word.
We are so glad that all of you guys are here in person and online. And our whole point is we give you guys some updates on what's happening with Redeemer Youth. So, what's our first one, Mackenzie?
Just another reminder that if there's a week that you can't come because you have practice or you're not in town or this or that, you can still come because we have a live stream and you can watch it and still have fun with us. So that's Redeemer MN on YouTube. And then after, you can join a Zoom with your growth group and still have fun with them.
Amazing. So I can see my growth group even if I was like in Florida or something?
Yes,
Wow.
I know, so fun.
So make sure to check us out. And for those of you live streaming, check us out on Zoom after the service. We'll let you know when to go to Zoom. But anyway, our next update is we want you guys to invite a friend. You know, next week we are starting a brand new series, and that is a perfect time for you guys to invite a friend. And it doesn't need to be in person. It can be online. Just have them check us out on YouTube, like Mackenzie said. So we really, really, really would like if you guys invited a friend. We'd love to meet them. So you can either, send them a text, talk to their parents, whatever it may be. All we want you to do is suggest to them to come check us out. So that's all we have for you today.
That's all that we have for announcements.
And now, I think it is time for our message. So we are continuing with, actually not continuing, it's our last message in this series, Growing Closer. And I have the privilege of kind of wrapping it up for you guys. So remember, we've had this image for about a month of these trees and a forest. And that's the image we've kind of stuck with throughout this series. And the whole point of this series is we want you to grow closer in your relationships. Whether that's with your relationships with your family or your friends or your grandparents, whatever it may be. We want you guys to grow closer in every single one of your relationships. Most importantly, your relationship with Jesus. And today, we're going to finish that series up with the topic of loyalty. Now, for some of you guys that know me, I am a huge Star Wars fan. Like, I have watched every single one of the 9 movies. Sequels, hot take, not very good. No comments, talk to me about it later. But anyway, I am a huge Star Wars fan. And in Star Wars, particularly the prequels, which is the first 3 movies, technically they're the second 3, but in this case, in order 1, 2, 3, they're the first 3. There is this huge conflict called the Clone Wars. And there's the good guys, which are the Republic and the Jedi and the clones. And then there's the bad guys, the Separatists, the Sith, and the droids. All right? So we have good guys, bad guys. And now these clones, they follow the Jedi everywhere. They are some of the most loyal people ever. They have built these relationships with the Jedis to the point where they'll die for the Jedis. Excuse me, I kind of spit out there a little bit. Sorry, the front row. But they are some of the most loyal beings in the universe. Until a certain event in Star Wars. And this event is called Order 66. Now, not going to go into much detail, but the bad guys end up controlling the good guys. And with that, they execute an order called Order 66. So let's see if I have a slide up there for it. This is Order 66. You can see the bad guy talking to the clone, and he's about to execute the order. Now, when Order 66 goes into effect, the clones lose their loyalty to the Jedi. They actually start to hate the Jedi to the point where they start to kill the Jedi. The loyalty is broken. And when the loyalty is broken, everything falls apart. The Jedi are almost non-existent, and evil takes over the galaxy. All because loyalty was broken. Which brings us to our verse of the day. And it comes from Proverbs. And this verse will demonstrate for us that the same is in our relationships. When our loyalty in our relationship disappears or breaks, our relationships fall apart. So if you guys want to turn with me or follow along on the screen with me, let's dive in. Proverbs 3:3. Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. In other words, make loyalty a priority for us, to you. Make it a priority in your relationships. When loyalty becomes important to us, the whole dynamic of our relationships changes. But as I'm thinking to myself, what does it even mean to be loyal? I mean, when I think about it, being loyal is showing support for somebody else. Whether it's been your friends, family, grandparents. Maybe it's a person you don't like. Showing loyalty is like showing support for somebody. And I was sitting here writing my message for you guys, and I'm like, man, how do I explain loyalty to somebody? Because it's just a word, and it's a very broad word, and it's hard to explain to middle schoolers. And I was like, I need an example. I need an example of a loyal person. I kept thinking, and I kept thinking, and I kept thinking, and then it popped into my head. Jesus. Jesus was a kind, loving person to the point where he dies for us on the cross. I mean, in some sort of aspect in his life, the 3 years of his ministry, he had to show loyalty. He's the most perfect being ever. So that's got to mean that he's the most loyal person ever. So why don't we look to him as an example? Now, when we look at Jesus, and we look at how he made loyalty a priority, a couple of things pop up. If we are going to make loyalty a priority, ooh, rhymed right there, we have got to love now. Remember, I talked about this about a month ago in our first message to kind of kick this series off. We have to love now. And how do we love now? I mean, if we're going to make loyalty a priority, and we have to love now, how do we love now? Well, remember like 2-3 weeks ago, Jared talked about how we got to stick with our friends through thick and thin. Whatever may be going on in their life, we have to stick with them. And that's AKA showing constant support. Whether that's just listening to them, vent about something, about a person who hurt them, about something that hurt them, whether whatever it may be, just being with them is a great way to show a person that you support them. Sticking with them through thick and thin. The way in my own life that I've recently noticed that having to stick with a person and showing them support is with my best friend. And now she, I'm not going to say her name just for private reasons and keeping her anonymous, but she recently got a new job. She actually works at Fridley Middle School, for some of you guys that go to Fridley. But she got a new job, and with this COVID thing, her job's kind of not her job. It's not what she was hired for, and so she's been struggling with it. She's like, I really don't like what I'm doing, and it's just boring. I sit at my desk all day, and it's just boring. And a great way that I've showed support is just listening to her and saying, you know what? Yeah, it sucks. It's not fun. But yet, what's God doing in this? Why do you think this is happening? Kind of pointing her back to God. In this way, this is a great way to show that support, that constant support, to make loyalty a priority. Now, the second thing is, what does it say? Use wise words. Now, do you think we're showing somebody constant support, making it a loyalty a priority, if we're using mean words to tear them down, if we're making fun of them, or the way they look, or the way they walk, talk, whatever it may be? If we're using words to cut them down instead of lifting up, do you think we're making loyalty a priority? No. There's no way that you're showing support by tearing them down. We have to use our words, our wise words, to lift them up and show that support. And when we do that, we're loving them now, like I said earlier. We're showing kindness to them. We're making loyalty a priority. And man, if we do these things, if we sit there and love them now by showing our support, sticking with them through thick and thin, by using wise words to lift them up, we've accomplished this whole point of our message today. We've made loyalty a priority in our lives. Now, I could have, with my best friend, could have said, you know what, yeah, maybe you should just quit from your job. You know, maybe you shouldn't even have taken that job. You knew what was going to happen because of COVID. Why'd you take that job? I could have not used wise words, but would that have been making loyalty a priority? No. Back to that Jedi image that I started our whole message off with. For a time, the clones were being loyal to the Jedi. For a time. But then, when they stopped loving them now, being willing to die for them, we can find in the Star Wars that they use wise words. They stick with the Jedi, no matter what the odds are, no matter how surrounded they are. They do all those things, but when Order 66 happens and they stop doing all those things, they stop loving now, they stop sticking with them, they actually turn on them. They start to use mean words to the point where they start to kill the Jedi. That's the definition of actually hurting somebody. The loyalty is broken. It's not a priority, and everything falls apart. Jesus makes loyalty a priority in the best way. And it's emphasized in the story of him and Peter. Now, Peter is his number 2 guy. He is the guy that sticks with Jesus through everything. Until one moment, just like Order 66. Jesus is going to the cross, and he knows that he's going to die, and they're sitting eating supper, and he's talking with his disciples, and he's like, one of you guys is going to betray me. And Peter says, I would never betray you. I will go till death with you. But then Jesus looks at him, and he says, you will deny me 3 times before the morning. So Peter keeps going there. He's like, nope, I would never do that. Well, Jesus is getting beaten and whipped and yelled at and wrongly accused by the authorities in Jerusalem. And these people, Peter has been following him, and these people recognize Peter. And they say, aren't you the one who followed Jesus? To broadly summarize it. And he goes, no. There's one. And he keeps going. Another person recognizes Peter and says, aren't you a follower of Jesus? He says, no, there's 2. Third time it happens. Somebody recognizes Peter. What's he do? He doesn't make loyalty a priority. 3 times. Jesus was right. He betrayed him. But then, after Jesus has risen, they're back in Galilee. And it's in John 4, at the end of the Gospel of John, if I can find it in my Bible. I don't have a verse for you guys, so I'm just going to read it for you guys. And after breakfast, Jesus asked Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Yes, Lord, Peter replied. You know I love you. Then feed my lambs, Jesus told him. Jesus then repeated the question. Simon, son of John, do you love me? Yes, Lord, Peter said. You know I love you. Then take care of my sheep, Jesus says. And a third time he asked him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was hurt that Jesus asked the question a third time, and he said, Lord, you know everything, and you know that I love you. Jesus said, then feed my sheep. Even when Peter didn't deserve it, even after 3 betrayals, 3 denials, Jesus has the right to say, you know what, you didn't make loyalty a priority with me when I needed you. I'm not going to make it a priority with you now. He has the right to say that. But yet he doesn't. He says, feed my sheep. And what he means by feed my sheep is go tell others about me, about my love. I love you so much that I want you to go and share that love with others. Jesus makes loyalty a priority. Even when he shouldn't. Or even when we think he shouldn't. But Jesus is not like us. He's the most loyal person ever. If we want to grow closer to others in our relationship, whether it's friends, family, grandparents, whatever relationship you have, if we want to grow closer, we do it when we stop pretending around other people, when we embrace our uniqueness around other people, and we begin to live out God's purpose for us. We make loyalty a priority. When we do that, we begin to grow closer. We mirror Jesus, the most loyal person ever. We begin to mirror him, and then everything else follows. We love now. We stick through others, we stick with others through thick and thin, even when everything around them in their life is going wrong. We use wise words to lift them up, not bring them down. These are all ways that we are showing that loyalty is a priority in our relationships. And when we do this, when loyalty becomes a priority in our relationships, it begins to never leave us. Like our verse says, remember our verse says, write them deep in your heart. Never let loyalty leave you. When we make it a priority, we write it deep within our heart. And when we write it deep in our heart, our relationships grow closer and stronger than ever before. And the first step in growing any of this, even growing closer to anybody, is there's always a first step that you got to take. And the first step in never letting loyalty leave you, making loyalty a priority, is by following Jesus. I talked about this in my first message. In every part of your life, He made loyalty a priority. And every mistake and every bad thing you've said, every person you've hurt, even though He knew all of that, and even like Peter, He knew you didn't deserve the loyalty. He made it a priority. And so the best thing that we can do is to accept that love, to accept that Jesus makes loyalty a priority in our lives. And that's what this light board over here is all about. You know, it's new. It's got a nice little blue lights and everything. Notice how there's no light bulbs in there. That's because we want more people than ever to start following Jesus, to accept that loyalty is a priority, especially in their relationship with Jesus. And when they do that, we will give them a light bulb, and they can pick anywhere on this board. There's a lot of space right now, and they can screw that in to show others that loyalty has become a priority, that they are followers of Jesus. And no matter what, they're going to love others now because Jesus loved them now. They're going to stick with them through thick and thin because Jesus did that. They're going to use wise words because Jesus did that. And it showed it to him. Or showed it to them, excuse me. That's what this light board is all about. And so if you are ready to take that first step, you're ready to make loyalty a priority, just like Jesus did with you, and you're willing to accept that and that love, come talk to me. We can talk about what it means to follow Jesus, and when you're ready to take that step, I'll walk with you. Your small group leaders will walk with you. Your growth group leaders will walk through with you. Your parents will. Because you've made your relationship with Jesus a priority. Loyalty has become a priority. So, I encourage you to come talk to me if you haven't made that decision. If you're online and you want to make that decision, let us know in the comments. You can email us at Redeemer. We'll get you all set. But we are ready to make that walk with you. We are ready to make loyalty a priority with you. Just as Jesus did it, and just how you will do it. Talk to me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity that we come today to learn more about you, to learn more about how relationships grow closer with you, and how loyalty is a huge part of that. Lord, help us make loyalty a priority, just like you did with us. Help us accept that love, that grace that you showed on the cross for us. Help us mirror that in every single one of our relationships. And when we do that, I pray that we grow closer than ever before to our friends, to our families, to even those who may not like us. Help us, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.
There's a grace when the heart is under fire. Another way when the walls are closing in. When I look at the space between where I used to be and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. There was another in the fire, standing next to me. There was another in the waters, holding back the seas. Should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free? There is a cross that bears the burden. Another died for me. There is another in the fire. All my dead left for dead beneath the waters. I'm no longer a slave to my sin anymore. Should I fall in the space between what remains of me and this reckoning? Either way, I will bow to the things of this world. I know I will never be alone. There is another in the fire, standing next to me. There is another in the waters, holding back the seas. Should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free? There is a grave that holds nobody. Now the power lives in me. There is another in the fire. Oh, there is another in the fire. Oh, there is another in the fire. Oh, there is another in the fire. And I can see the light in the darkness as the darkness bows to him. And I can hear the roar in the heavens as the space between wears thin. And I can feel the ground shake beneath us as the prison walls cave in. Nothing stands between us, and nothing stands between us. There is no other name but the name that is Jesus. He who was and still is and will be through it all. So come on me in the space between all the things unseen in this reckoning. I know I will never be alone. And I know I will never be alone. There'll be another in the fire, standing next to me. There'll be another in the waters, holding back the seas. Should I ever need reminding
the joy that we feel when others make loyalty a priority with us, and then when we make loyalty a priority with them. That joy is just a shadow of the joy that we can feel, knowing that Jesus has made a priority with us. The joy that we feel when we choose to accept that love, that grace. When we accept that we are a priority with someone, we grow closer in everything else. So we are going to have a time now of growth groups. For you guys online, give us about 5 minutes and we'll be ready for you. We'll have a wonderful volunteer who will meet you and send you to your growth groups. But during your growth groups, talk about that. Talk about how loyalty is such a huge part of our relationships. Most importantly, our loyalty in our relationship with Christ and His loyalty to us. I hope you guys have an amazing growth groups, and make sure to join us next week as we kick off a brand new series. I'm not going to tell you quite yet what it is because I want it to be a surprise. But please join us. We would love to have you. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week.